For years and years, an academic CV was, well, it was a story of your scholarly life, right? It was meant for a thoughtful person to sit down and read. But things have changed. Today, the very first eyes on your CV might not be human at all. We're going to dive into this new world, a world where your career has to get past a machine before it ever reaches a person.
Okay, get this. 6 to 8 seconds. That is it. That's the average amount of time your CV gets to make a first impression. And that's whether it's a person glancing at it or, you guessed it, a machine scanning it. Just 6 to 8 seconds. I mean, just let that sink in for a moment. You're competing with maybe hundreds of other brilliant people. That tiny sliver of time? It's literally everything. And because of that, we have to completely change how we think about a CV. It can't just be a list of what you've done anymore. It has to be an active, powerful document that's engineered to catch attention. Fast.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you make every single one of those seconds count? How do you build your CV so it doesn't just get past the scan, but actually shines? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll figure out who this first reader really is. Then, we'll see how the machine actually reads your stuff. We'll learn to speak its language, and then talk about what happens after you pass that test. Finally, we'll wrap up with a whole new way to think about your CV.
Okay, let's jump right into part 1, your CV's first reader. Because, in this crazy competitive job market, the first gatekeeper you've got to get past, it's probably not a person. It's an algorithm.
And look at this. This number is, wow, it's pretty staggering, 75%. That's how many CVs get tossed out by these automated systems before a human being ever lays eyes on them. And I get it, that can feel really frustrating, right? But here's the thing, it's not a judgment on your work or your qualifications. It's all about whether a machine can understand your document.
So what is this thing? It's called an Applicant Tracking System, or ATS for short. Basically, institutions get buried in applications, so they use this software to sort through them. It scans everything, looking for specific keywords and skills, and then it scores you. Your first audience isn't the hiring committee. It's a piece of software.
Which leads us to the next big question. How exactly does this machine read your CV? Because if you can understand that, you can figure out how to beat it.
So, on the left, that's what you see, this polished, beautifully designed CV you spent hours on. But on the right, that's what the AI often sees, and it's a total mess. All that fancy formatting, it's like kryptonite to these systems. The columns get all scrambled, special fonts become gibberish, and poof, your entire career story is just a chaotic block of text.
And here's a closer look at what goes wrong. You use a 2-column layout, the machine reads it straight across, mixing everything up. You put your name and email in the header? Yeah, the software probably skips that entirely. Even tiny details, like special characters or fonts, can make a keyword like staff totally unreadable. And don't even get me started on tables or charts. As far as the AI is concerned, they just don't exist.
All right, enough with the problems. Let's get to the solutions. It's time to figure out how to speak the AI's language so we can engineer a CV that actually succeeds.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial. Keywords are everything. Think of them like currency. The ATS is basically a search engine looking for specific phrases, so your job is to give it exactly what it's looking for. You have to mirror the language in the job description. If they ask for pedagogy, you use the word pedagogy. This is not the time to get creative with synonyms. And for acronyms, use both the full name and the acronym. You want to cover all your bases.
Now, it's not just about keywords. Both the AI and the human, who'll hopefully read your CV later, they love numbers. Just look at the difference here. Taught undergraduate courses in biology. Okay, fine. But now look at the right side. You taught over 150 students a semester, and you raised evaluations from a 3.6 to a 4.4. See? That's not just a duty anymore. That is a quantified, high-impact achievement.
And here's a super simple way to do this for your own CV. It's a 3-step audit. For every single bullet point, ask yourself, 1. Can I add a number? Like a percentage, a dollar amount, a count. 2. Can I add a time frame, a semester, a year? And 3, can I add a benchmark? Increase by 20%, or in the top 5%. If you're missing these, you're missing a huge opportunity to show your value.
Okay, so let's say you've done it. You've created the perfect machine-readable CV. It sails past the AI gatekeeper. Awesome. But you're not done yet. Now comes the arguably harder part, passing the human test.
And I think this quote really says it all. The AI filter is just a gate. It's not the final destination. Its only job is to find people who are worth a closer look by the actual hiring committee.
Remember that distinction. The AI finds you, the committee chooses you.
And what are humans looking for? They're looking for fit. This is where you have to tailor your story. If you're applying to a big research university, your publications and grants need to be right up top. That's your headline. But if it's a small teaching college, your teaching experience needs to be the star of the show. Just reordering your sections is a really powerful way to show them, hey, I get what you're about.
And let's not forget, there's so much that an algorithm just can't measure. You know, the glowing praise in your recommendation letters, how you handle tough questions in an interview, the specific way your research connects with someone in the department. These are the things that are still and will always be deeply human, and they are often what makes the final decision.
So all of this leads to our final point, which is really about a massive shift in how you think about this. Your CV isn't just a dusty old record of your past anymore. It needs to be a sharp, strategic tool that's built for your future.
So let's just recap the big takeaways. First, stop fighting the AI. Treat it as your first reader and play by its rules. Second, put a number on everything you can. Quantify your impact. Third, simple and clear beats fancy and unreadable every single time. And last, always tailor your CV. You've got two audiences now, the machine that finds you and the person who hires you.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Your CV isn't just about what you've done in the past. The real question is it properly engineered to create your future? Is it just a record, or is it the key that's going to unlock that next door for you?